Hi there, this is the Aikenknees Rly. This past weekend we just went to the great Edmonton train show that was being held Saturday, Sunday at Sherwood Park here in Alberta. We picked up this USA Trains 42-foot modern tank car for a pretty good deal. And today we're going to unload it and install Kadee 906 couplers on it. And this has got to be one of the easiest conversions there is to put body mount couplers onto a G-scale rolling stock. And we're going to go through step by step and install the couplers. I guess we'll start by undoing the packaging and getting this real tank car out of the box. USA Trains, I find they really pack their stuff really good. And real important for doing body mount Kadee couplers, you've got to have these mounting plates that go on between the body and the draft gear of the Kadee 906s. So whatever you do, don't lose these. They come complete with the mounting screws and the whole 9 yards. So we'll just set these aside and carefully pull the tank car out of the box. Like I said, they pack these things pretty good. Mounting instructions, always hang on to these. Mind you, I've done 20 or 30 of these already, so I don't really need these. But for the first timer, they're handy, very handy. Okay, here it is, nicely packaged. We'll split the styrofoam here and see what we got. Like I said, they really pack these really nice for shipping. I especially like this kind of it's not really a membrane, it's kind of a rubbery, stretchy packaging. Look at that, isn't that nice? They really pack them in there. Unfortunately, they're also a kind of a pain to get out because there are some delicate pieces underneath. In fact, I think one of those delicate pieces I might have just knocked out of place. Oh yeah, it's just a simulated air line underneath. It can be repaired, that's no problem. Okay, she's out of the box. There she is. As you can see, USA Trains, they actually have, the USA knuckle couplers aren't bad, but they're actually truck mounted. So what we're going to do is remove the truck mounted couplers and install the Kadee 906s right to the body of this tank car. Okay, we're bringing the tank car over. I invert it. I use an old USA Trains hopper, 4-bay hopper styrofoam case as kind of a work platform. It's made out of styrofoam, it's big enough, it kind of keeps everything protected, and usually you don't get too much damage. One thing you got to remember though, inverting these tank cars, is these little lids and stuff. One is spring loaded, one is not. You just want to make sure that it's closed when you invert it, so that the lid, you're not laying it on top of the lid itself. Put it into the case like so. And you got a nice solid platform for working. First thing we want to do is we've got to remove, or this is the way steps that I do anyways, is I take the truck off so that I can remove this knuckle coupler. And then I set the truck aside in preparation of putting in the mounting plate and the 906 coupler. Okay. Comes apart nice and easy. Make sure your parts or bits and pieces are put away in a safe place. I use the lid off of my favorite coffee brand, and they're quite useful for holding things. And yeah. Okay. Remove the truck. Nice trucks. I really like these trucks. They're nice, sprung, equalized, rotating end bearing caps. They're very, very nice. Okay, a little mounting screw there. We will remove that, and this will take off the USA truck mounted coupler. Okay, take the screw off. There we go. Oh yeah. And just wiggle out the coupler. It's a nice shelf type knuckle coupler, but like I say, we won't be using it. Okay, at this point in the game, take the other end off. Remember this bag of parts that I was saying earlier? This is your mounting platform. You don't want to lose this. And of course they do give you the actual written instructions to do it. But I've done it once or twice, so you'll see that right where the body mount here on the forward side of the wheel and center post is where these mounting brackets go. Now they have to go one way. They do have countersunk screws, so you really can't mess up how to put them on. Right, they go on like so. And they give you the very, very tiny little Phillip head screws to put on. So whatever you do, don't lose these, because they're a very fine thread, and I don't really have anything in my little collection that would replace these if one of them ever got lost. Very, very tiny, and if you've got arthritic fingers like mine, sometimes they're a pain. But all four actually have to go in. I just start the threads and I'll wait till I get them all in before okay, one more to go on this end. On the B end, the end where the handbrake is. At this point you may want to snug them up, because once the Kadee coupler draft box is on, you will not have access to these screws. Don't over tighten them though, you don't want to pull out any threads. Okay, and the same goes at the other end. So at this point, this is usually where I get the 906s here, the 906s to, and I usually put them together first and get them ready to mount. And of course they put in a staple that you want to pull out, so that you can open the plastic container. And of course all your draft gear, screws, and everything else are in there. Again, I just pour them into the my little container here so that I don't lose them. Again, being environmentally friendly, we will recycle all the bits and pieces that we got here into the appropriate bins. They go together quite nicely. You really can't screw up. There's only you know, the The shank on the coupler has a little notch on there, which fits into the notch of the box. You can't go wrong. Unfortunately, sometimes the screws get together in the packages, and there we go. Put in the centering screw, or the centering spring, I should say. Spring, not screw. That kind of keeps your box centered. I just basically hold it in there a little bit and then, oops, yeah, that happens. I'm glad they put in 3, because sometimes one usually flies off and you can never find it. And then you put it together like so, and there's your 906 ready to be installed in the draft box. And this is how quick it is. Put her down. She's at the right height and the right space from the end of the car platform. Again, USA Trains supplies you with the mounting screws. You put these in. I know a lot of people use just 2, or sometimes I've seen guys even put in just 1. The Aikenknees Rly runs usually 16 to 25 cars, so we need the strength of the draft gear to keep it all together. Actually, I'm just going to use a bigger handled screwdriver. And of course, there we go. Snug them up, not too tight. You don't want to pull the threads out. Oops. Okay, everything's still straight. Put the trucks back on. Look at that. Now there is some limited side clearance here on the Aikenknees Rly. We run 22 foot or 20 foot and up to 24 foot diameter curvatures, number 6s and number 8 switches, so we have no concern about the actual amount of curvage, and works pretty good. Okay, we're doing the other end now. Putting the screws in. Another reason why you don't want to over tighten these things is sometimes you can pinch the box and then you don't have free movement of the shank on the Kadee. But as you can see, she's all loose. Okay, we put the wheels back on. They've been oiled. Put the centerpiece in. Again, unfortunately, my eyes aren't what they used to be. Big thing is, don't over tighten. You don't want to strip any threads. There you go. You got 906's body mounted onto the USA Trains 42 foot tank car. But there's one last thing to check out, and we'll do that right now. And of course, the last thing you always want to do, and I have a Kadee coupler height guide here, and you want to just make sure that everything, look at that. If it was any closer, it'd be wrong.